I started out on the campaign writing about big loser candidates. So they sent me to Iowa to write about Trump. Wasn't it incredible that this guy who'd been married 3 times, who'd been on the cover of Playboy, that seemed like he was about to win this famously conservative state. Trump had skipped the Fox News debate, held this fundraiser on television. They said he'd raised $6 million for veterans. And among that $6 million, $1 million, he said, was coming out of his own pocket. He's gotten so much good publicity for that. So, where's the money? Months later, I still couldn't account for about half of the money. And that included the $1 million that Trump said he was going to come out of his own pocket. Finally, Corey Lewandowski, who was Trump's campaign manager, called me. He says, okay, I can tell you now that Mr. Trump has given away his $1 million. Just trust me, Donald Trump gave this money away.
Thank you.
So I said, okay, I'll try to find somebody out in the world who got even $1. I decided I'd try to do that on Twitter, and so that a wider group of veterans would see that I was looking for this money, and also because I wanted Donald Trump to see it. And so I put @RealDonaldTrump in every one of those queries. Trump was watching, and that night, he actually gave the money away. Trump called me to tell me that, and I said, well, did you just give this money away now because I was looking for it? That's when he called me a nasty guy, said I should be ashamed of myself. But he didn't say no.
You yourself say you pledged $1 million.
Your critics say you have a problem with the truth. Is this a prime example?
No, I raised almost $6 million. Some of it didn't come through, but it was very unfair that the press treated us so badly. And then we have to read probably libelous stories. The people know the stories are false.
You keep calling us the dishonest press, the disgusting press. It seems as though you're resistant to scrutiny, the kind of scrutiny that comes with running for president of the United States.
Trump had spent years living in the world where the media was publicity. The entertainment media reported in ways that he found generally pleasing. I mean, even when they reported on his affairs, it sort of made him seem like this real playboy. Entertainment Tonight's like, I come back 6 months later and figure out whether you actually gave the money to charity. This is a new relationship Trump is having with the media right then at this moment. He's realizing that this is not just publicity.
And he felt like he was turned on, even though it was just the same scrutiny that every other candidate gets when they're on the precipice of being the Republican nominee or any party's nominee.
Is a question an attack? Is a question an attack?
I think the political press is among the most dishonest people that I've ever met. I'm going to continue to attack the press. Thank you very much.
When the media started demanding answers and looking into his background, and I think that changed the tenor for him.
I believe, actually, they are more crooked than crooked Hillary. I really do.
She's been probably hacked. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
Does that not give you pause?
No, gives me no pause. If they have them, they have them. We might as well find. Hey, here's what gives me pause. Be quiet. I know you want to, save her.
All of the norms he violated, all of the rules that he broke, all of the ways in which he challenged the press, the message from that was, I am the disruptor that you've been waiting for.
The media is very, very dishonest.
He did not cause people's disenchantment with how government works and the feeling of whether it's working for them or not. He just activated those resentments and insecurities. And I think if we don't look at what those underlying factors were and we just looked at the skill with which he exploited them, then we're missing the story.
There's never been a movement like this. I want the entire corrupt Washington establishment to hear that we are going to drain the swamp. I love that expression. It's a great expression.
Everybody was watching it, but they were watching a professional television performer. Today, television appears to be an instrument of entertainment. But when a CBS reporter named Edwin R. Murrow hired me in 1957, it was also considered to be an instrument for education. Murrow was worried about a person who emerged in 1950 from the Midwest, who suddenly decided that he didn't have to worry about the constraints of democracy. The only thing he had to do was to sell his point of view.
Senator Joseph McCarthy was the year's most controversial figure in American politics.
Senator McCarthy spoke of one party's treason. He has accused civilian and military leaders of the past administration of a great conspiracy to turn over the country to communism.
So Murrow did a broadcast about Joe McCarthy. And that had a powerful impact. McCarthy was frightening people and creating a Red Scare. And he had somebody with him, a New York lawyer named Roy Cohen, who was very smart and thoroughly unprincipled. And what he said to McCarthy is pretty much the same thing that he said to another client a couple of decades later named Donald Trump. And that was that if somebody attacks you, never yield. Attack him right back. Double down, never acknowledge that you made a mistake. You attack. You continue to attack.
It's a system that is completely absent of any moral parameter. The only goal is win, baby, win.
One new poll out today shows Donald Trump leading the Republican presidential field about 10 points.
We are led by very, very stupid people. Very, very stupid people.
Right now, Donald Trump is winning about a third of the self-identified evangelical vote.
The Trump train is almost impossible to stop at this point.
This is so astounding what's happened.
This is what we are going to see now on from this campaign, going from somebody who has a very presidential tone to somebody who is unpredictable.
That pretty much encapsulates the argument. To Chuck Todd in Washington, Chuck, just start talking.
Friends, delegates, and fellow Americans, we cannot afford to be so politically correct anymore. There will be no lies. We will honor the American people with the truth and nothing else.
Trump created his own reality in this campaign, and he bent other people's reality towards his. That's his genius.
Welcome to the Kelly File, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. Hard to believe, but we are roughly 100 days now from Election Day.
Start your engines. The real race begins.
Look at that. Look at that. Clinton and Trump tied.
Her policies have produced only death, destruction.
Donald Trump would say outrageous things or say things that weren't true, and it just became accepted, oh, well, that's what he does.
She could shoot somebody with 20,000 people watching right smack in the middle of the heart, and she wouldn't be prosecuted.
Not calling that out more for what it was, and then holding the other side more accountable, that was probably a mistake.
It's like he's a human algorithm of being able to calculate exactly what people are going to not be able to resist watching and hearing and sharing.
The cable news networks today have learned one lesson. You have to entertain us.
It's very easy to gin up a conflict by having the people over here on one side and the people over here on another side. It creates great fodder for great drama, which we would all call great TV. And people like great TV. And if you're impacting ratings, you're also impacting ad dollars. And so it was a very worthwhile business proposition. It really was a win-win-win for everybody. I mean, except for Americans.
The FBI director has released a report that's shedding light on the Hillary Clinton email investigation.
Hillary Clinton's email was a story that was reported way out of context.
Reporters and producers try so hard to seem balanced
that they end up sometimes not being accurate. Oftentimes, especially in broadcast media, we see this false equivalence. Donald Trump is making more misstatements, coming up with more falsehoods more often.
Her violation was incredible. Thousands and thousands and thousands. 35,000 emails that she destroyed.
The Hillary Clinton email story was an important story, there's no question. Do I think it got a disproportionate amount of attention? I do.
False equivalency is just laziness. You should just do good reporting, because then you can say, this is what's true.
If you add up the legitimately concerning aspects of Hillary Clinton, and there are many, and you put them next to Donald Trump's, the difference is just preposterously outsized. Every race is not a tie score.
There is some breaking news right now. David Fahrenthold of the Washington Post got his hands on a tape from 2005 of Donald Trump.
It arrived at about 11 o'clock in the morning. Right away you knew it was something big.
I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and fuck her. She was married.
That's huge news, Sarah.
I moved on her like a bitch.
We're just finding out about this. What do you know, Katie?
NBC News has reached out to the campaign for comment but has not heard back.
You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You're a star. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy.
Deanna, what are you learning?
I was talking to somebody who is a humongous fan of Donald Trump, somebody who is a big supporter and has been an advisor, who said, just can't imagine any woman in this country voting for Donald Trump.
Jeez, your girl's hot as shit. In the purple.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes, the Donald has scored.
Whoa.
Oh, my man.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
Mr. Trump, how
nice
are
seeing
you?
you. Terrific.
Pleasure to meet you.
How about a little hug for the Donald? He just got off the bus.
Would you like a little hug,
Okay,
darling?
absolutely.
A
Melania
little
said
hug
this
for the
was
bushy.
okay.
I just got off the bus.
Oh, bushy.
There we go.
I got phone calls from 3 Democratic strategists who were literally cackling. 2 of them said the exact same thing. Aren't you just loving this? And I was staked out in the lobby of Trump Tower at that point, and I was like, no, I'm not loving this. This is horrible. Like, what is good about this?
This one does feel different. There have been so many times we've said Trump can't survive this or can't survive that, but the 2005 hot mic recording may well prove to be the type of October surprise that even Donald Trump can't survive.
Yeah, you get in the middle. There we go.
Good. That's better.
This is much better. This is.
That's better.
Now, if you had to choose, honestly, between one of us, me or the Donald.
I don't know. That's
some
tough
pressure
competition.
right there.
A lot of us overreacted to the tape out of shock and out of an assumption that we knew what would happen next.
I've never said I'm a perfect person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not.
There were a lot of assumptions made right when that tape came out about how voters would react, how Trump would react, how his family would react.
It's the only time that I know of that he actually experienced humiliation.
I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize.
And that humiliation was something that he propelled into a fist pounding of Hillary Clinton psychologically by bringing her husband's accusers to next debate.
Mr. Trump may have said some bad words, but Bill Clinton raped me and Hillary Clinton threatened me. I don't think there's any comparison.
And in what he said to her on stage, he just came right back at her.
We received a lot of questions online, Mr. Trump. You bragged that you have sexually assaulted women. Do you understand that?
No, I didn't say that at all. I don't think you understood what was said. This was locker room talk. I think the one that you should really be apologizing for are the 33,000 emails that you deleted. And honestly, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Secretary Clinton, I want to follow up on that. I'm going to let you talk about emails.
Because everything he just said is absolutely false. It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
I think before the morning is out,
Hubert Humphrey will be the next president of the United States.
We need internal unity, national unity.
Change has come to America.
There's no question that every single national political reporter thought on election night that Hillary Clinton was going to win.
I think the biggest mistake I personally made was relying too much on what experts said in terms of polling. I mean, all that was wrong. All of it was wrong.
Why is the press predicting outcomes in the first place? That is the original sin of political reporting.
I am sick and tired of the negative, dark, divisive, dangerous vision.
Media didn't really have a sense of how big a deal Trump was in places like Ohio, West Virginia, Iowa. I think that was a failure of political journalism and a really huge one.
It's insane that the person who's in the leadership position of the New York Times admits they didn't get out of New York enough.
And I think what's made this so hard for political reporters is that we can't see messages that are being very deliberately targeted to very specific demographics.
Protect your right to security.
So it makes it really hard to know what is it that people are hearing and seeing.
Today's election day.
Big day today. Exercise your right.
Let's make America great again, guys.
Are you fired up? Ready to go? God bless the United States of America.
Hold on, there's a big old call to make right now, and that is Fox News is projecting that Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin. He has officially pierced the blue wall.
Here in the newsroom, for months, they were getting comments from Latinos saying, I'm gonna vote for Donald Trump. I was hearing what they were saying, but I wasn't listening. And then after the election, we realized that he got almost 30% of the Hispanic vote.
Hillary Clinton has called Donald Trump to concede the race.
53% of white women voted for Donald Trump.
If you've always covered politics like a horse race, it's very hard to stand outside and say, wait a minute, are we jumping to a conclusion here that really hasn't been proven out?
Facts and truth are a base material of journalism, but they are not its entire content. I worry about a world in which we dismiss people's perceptions and feelings about their own lives. If you perceive yourself as having lost status or lost power or lost opportunity, your perception and your feeling about that perception is a powerful fact. And that fact was just absent in our coverage.
We made a lot of mistakes. We did.
In retrospect, more rallies by other candidates should have been covered, and there should have been more fact-checking and editorial context. But that's not why Trump is the president of the United States. It is simplistic to say that decision by 3 cable networks is why President Trump is President Trump.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Thank you very much. I'm making this presentation directly to the American people because many of our nation's reporters will not tell you the truth. It's all fake news. It's all fake news. It is fake. The news is fake.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news media.
You know, when Trump began to use that expression, I thought it was so childish, it couldn't possibly work. He now believes that the use of the term fake news was the smartest thing he did in a PR sense since he began to run for president in 2015.
It is fake.
Trump suggests with every word that the free press have their own agenda and that their agenda, America, is not yours.
Enemy of the American people. That was a bright, flashing red light. You can't say that and be president of the United States. You could be president of Russia, of China, of Egypt. You could be president of a lot of places, but not of the United States.
I think part of the arrogance of reporters might have been that we just assumed people understood how we saw our jobs and that we went about our work to serve a greater good.
Aren't you concerned, sir, that you are undermining the people's faith in the First Amendment, freedom of the press in this country, when you call stories you don't like fake news?
To think that that was widely believed, understood, embraced, it was naive.
As long as I have been in this business, I try to explain I'm just a guy who's telling you what he thinks is a fair presentation of reality. For many, many years, most people believed me. Then, with the emergence of Fox and MSNBC, and with the corporatization of the media, people who were interested in making as much money as they possibly could, not in public policy. Everything became politicized, and people, they didn't believe me anymore.
Now, maybe I had something to do with that. I don't know. But the public doesn't believe you people anymore.
I don't think our political press knows how to cope. When mainstream journalists get to work in the morning, 1/3 of their potential public is gone before they log on. What happens when that becomes 40%? What happens when it becomes 50%? That's a crisis. And at a certain point, what's going to happen is that you're going to do your job successfully by investigating and exposing, and it won't matter.
You are a traitor!
What worries me is how distorted each side's view is of the other.
Let's go home! Let's go home!
I'm intubating somebody 53.
And how much that distortion corresponds with how much media people consume.
Do these masks really slow the spread of COVID?
I know.
Do you want to stop? We can have a fight over what would constitute progress on education or on the environment or on healthcare.
Democratic pigs! All of you!
But only if we have something like a shared foundation of facts. And we don't even have that now. This is damage that is going to have to be undone.
I mean, it's story after story after story is bad. I won.